Welcome to the Linehaul Playbook. I'm your host, Emily Blair, and joining me in my virtual studio today is Rick Dunn. Rick, thank you so much for coming in with me.
Thank you for having me. It's been a minute. And
It
I
has
just
been.
thinking the last time we talked, that I saw you. It's been quite a while. But thank you for having me on the Linehaul Playbook. Very excited. This is something, the we need. We need somebody helping us communicate and leading the charge. And I know I don't have it in me. So I'm so happy that you have taken it up.
Well, thank you. And you were the one that introduced me to it years ago when you invited me on your podcast. So I'm happy to
Don't
bring you back online.
don't go watch those videos. I'll pull them up on YouTube sometimes and cringe and be like, oh, that was, oh, well, production value. We know a lot more now than we did back then. That's for sure. I know a lot more about how to, you know, make a more entertaining segment, I believe. So hopefully that pays
Well, we're
off.
always learning. That's the fun. So I'm going to jump back a little bit for anybody that doesn't know you. You run Linehaul Solutions and you are also a FedEx service provider. So can you just introduce yourself briefly and tell people what do you do? Who are you?
I am a guy who fell into this world of line haul. I mean, it's been well over a decade now, 2014. I same journey as so many people get on. I found out that FedEx, you can subcontract with them. You either deliver the packages or you take semi trucks, between hub to hub. I'm so thankful for the fact that I got the opportunity to start in line haul. And a couple of years ago, decided that I wanted to try to make an impact on the way that kind of FedEx line haul welcomes in new potential customers in terms of new contractors, customers for anybody who wants to sell. And it seems like we had a really good network for sellers who wanted to, you know, liquidate their assets, sell their business, but the buyers didn't have a lot of education. And there were so many questions and not a lot of ways to get answers to those questions. And for as wonderful as FedEx is, sometimes they don't make it easy for someone to get an answer to a question about, line haul and get the correct information. And I think that's where Linehaul Solutions has done a pretty good job of welcoming new customers in, education, helping them, assisting them with purchasing businesses, or choosing not to purchase business. I say often, like, my greatest gift, I think, and what I've done the most is convincing people to not buy certain businesses.
I appreciate how willing you are to share your expertise and not just in your businesses, but I always see you, on social media platforms, creating content of your own. So I think that's been amazing. And I appreciate all the help that you've given me over the years, and I'm sure others do as well. So, what are you seeing today? Anything exciting to talk about?
Always, but now more than ever, we're in a very exciting time. And I know lots of people won't describe it as that. We just elected a new president,
Oh,
and
we're going there. All right.
I, I I go there, but I'll tell you, I am in the middle road. I love talking about it because I think I like hearing other people's opinions, but I try to, middle path. But regardless of what you think about what's going on, things are different than they were 6 months ago. And I think we're going to see the macroeconomic landscape change just like it did the last time. I mean, things the last 4 years were different, whether they're good, whether they were bad, whatever you think. We had just come off of a global, pandemic. It's weird to think that 5 years ago, 4 years ago, we were all wearing masks around and it was just normal. And it's been so recently, we all forgot about that. But there was a boom in line haul. I mean, you could not help but make so much money in line haul a couple of years ago. And people remember those times. It was recent where you could take a spare truck and just run it 6,000 miles, team run it. Oh, give me some trucks. I need trucks. REL, they remember me. Rachel, dude, I need some trucks. I got to make some money. And it wasn't that long ago. And now stock price dropped. And that was what, 23, fall of 23. And then FedEx decided, whoa, 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 we got to slow down a little bit. We're not going to run these trucks and run these empty miles like we used to. And we're still adjusting to that. Now FedEx 2.0 is coming out. And nobody has the answers and nobody knows what it is consolidating freight into ground, but I think it's going to be good for FedEx line haul. I think we're going to see more runs available. I think there's going to be more spot pickups for customers to do, which means more PM runs, which means more mainline freight, and certain markets are going to see that versus others. I like to think the port cities are going to see a lot of opportunity there. I don't know this, it's just me predicting, and I could be very wrong, but I try to stay in communication and kind of watch what's going on inside the FedEx news and even outside, just to kind of see what could be happening and how maybe I could position myself or advise clients that, hey, maybe you want to grow in this market really quickly because there's about to be a boom. And if you know you're in an area where there's growth coming, having those trucks available, I think wouldn't be a bad thing to plan. Now, 6 months ahead of time, no, expenses. But if you can break even on a truck, getting some work done, doing extra stuff, helping out, and that leads you to be able to take on another run, which leads to having a dedicated run, then it was worth it. Adding runs to the schedule A, you do it at all costs. And I don't care if it's unassigned or assigned at this point, because there's plenty of value in the unassigned runs and they are getting better and they're getting more valuable.
With prices fluctuating on what people perceive as the value of a FedEx business, I've seen some chatter about some interesting things happening when people are trying to sell. Can we talk about that?
Let me be careful in what I say, but I do have a cautionary tale for line haul contractors. When you sell a business, you have two options. You can sell to a current contractor or you can sell to a new buyer. If you're selling to a current contractor, it's fast, it's quick. That deal gets done 2 to 3 weeks. If you're selling to somebody who's new, you're going to get more money. You should definitely get more money. They have to pay more money. I tell them, you're paying more money. Somebody's going to wait for you 4 months, 6 months, 12 months if it's SBA. That's a joke, but not really sometimes. You have to pay more money. Now, if you go to sell to a line haul contractor, it can be smooth, but line haul contractors know the game. Let's say I wanted to get shady. Let's get shady for a second, right? And I want to get the best deal on a business. I'm going to find someone selling and I'm going to drag out the process. I'm going to make them think we're going to close on a specific day, but then I'm not going to get my act together and I'm going to delay the limb meeting and I'm not, whatever it is, we got to redo the paperwork. Oh, my lawyer wants this. And I'm purposely going to delay the process to where the seller contractor is getting worried. They're probably not running their runs the way they should. They may be missing runs. They may have, be under some type of, safety issue where they're forced to sell. They may just not have the ability to run the runs, and they're hoping to sell so they don't lose the runs, because everybody knows you drop below a specific percentage of availability, you're going to lose the run. I can manipulate the hell out of that and say, oh, you know what? At the end, it's been 3 months. So sorry, I can't buy this business anymore. I'm sorry about that LOI, but this clause that I snuck in here at the beginning means that I don't have to buy this business. Oh, but if you wanted to sell, I'll give you less money on this. In my opinion, highly unethical. That's happening more often. So anybody who's watching this, your clients, if you know they're selling, make sure they really understand who they're selling to, and they have, they're pushing that through.
As a seller, how on earth do you know when that's happening? Because it's no secret that it takes time. It's not an easy process. It's not a quick process to buy a business, even if you are an existing contractor.
So Linehaul Solutions, we have just tried to ensure that the agreement is in place. Everything is done prior to turning in the SP30. As a buyer,
I don't know what an SP30 is. Help me out.
Ah, well, welcome. It used to be called the BD30. It's the form that you sign to tell FedEx that you're transferring the runs from one person to another. So
Okay.
it's a 6-page form. It gets filled out, it gets handed in. That's all FedEx needs. There's a lot of other stuff that as a business buyer or seller, you have LOIs, a purchase agreement, whatever, but that's the specific form that FedEx needs. So before that gets turned in, everything's agreed to. There's no surprises. And the only renegotiating you should be doing is if the material, the business has changed. Oh, the run's different. Oh, the truck broke down, so we had to get a different truck. And that's obvious, but that's easy stuff. Shouldn't take long at all to renegotiate on anything that comes up.
Got it. That makes sense. So just to do all of your due diligence in advance of submitting anything to FedEx. Is that the way I understand it?
Yes,
Okay.
without a doubt.
I know that you are always moving and shaking. So what do you got going on? What's new that you want to talk about today?
We're creating a program called Linehaul IQ, and we're going to do a deep dive into any businesses that's for sale for anyone. For if you're interested in buying a business, we'll go through and we will analyze that business for you before you get too far along in the process. I think that's something that the marketplace needs. Like, you don't have to come sign on with me and you don't have to buy the deal in order for us to talk to you about the business. So trying to look at these businesses that are for sale from a third party scenario, we're not involved in either, and just be, look, this is what this business is worth. This is what's terrible about this business. This is the opportunities, to run a SWOT analysis, if that makes sense, on a business. And so I think that's something I'm extremely excited about that we'll be doing soon, and really trying to change the way that we assist anybody who's interested in getting into FedEx Linehaul in a more efficient manner.
I like it. I think that's a really interesting perspective because I always tell anybody that's looking to buy a line haul business that you need an impartial mechanic to go look at those trucks that you're looking to buy. So get somebody that is completely outside of the deal to go evaluate it.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
You've made a major change in your life last year, end of last year.
Yes.
How is that going?
It's wonderful. I transitioned for those of you who don't know me. I used to work at a company called AP Financing, which is where I met Rick. And last year I transitioned to Rolling Equity Leasing, who is the sponsor of this new YouTube channel. And I am super excited to be a part of a great organization.
Awesome. And this, yeah,
Yeah.
like this, I'm excited about the playbook.
Thank you.
Good guests, lots of insight, tangible, right? Like tangible
That's
tips.
right. That's my goal. Down and dirty tips. Rick, thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate your company and your insights, and I am excited to have you back again someday soon.
Wonderful. I'm always happy to do anything you need. And I look forward to the playbook. The space needs this conversation. So I think you're the perfect person to have those conversations.
Thank you, Rick.
All right. Talk soon.
Yes, talk soon.